Hi guys! I have mentioned in my last few videos that I've got a new class coming up called Sketches with 4x6" photos only, and I wanted to take the time to create a video sharing all the information and details of that class with you. There's a lot included, and I'm also going to share a few peeks of some of the class content, including the PDFs and a couple of my layouts. And if you've taken a class with me before, you know that I pack them full of content and extras, and this one will be no different. In total, there are over 400 different sketch options, and I'll get to all of those details later. First things first, let me introduce myself if you are new to my channel. My name is Allison Davis, and I am a scrapbooker and sketch artist for my family scrapbook store, Scrapbook Generation, located in Springfield, Missouri. We have an actual physical store and a large online store as well. My mom and my aunt are the owners, and then my sister and I both work there. And my 17-year-old son, Drew, started officially working with us about a year ago. So we are family all the way. With the exception, we do have one employee, Lindsay, that has been working with us long enough that we might as well call her family too. One of the things I do for Scrapbook Generation is teach classes and host groups like the one I'm going to talk about in this video. This will be my fourth group class combination. The first one actually started in the spring of 2020 when things started getting a little crazy, and I had just come out with a new set of sketches, and I thought that it might be fun while everyone is stuck at home to create a Facebook community, and we could work through those sketches together 1 week at a time. And in the beginning, I had planned on it simply being just a group where I would post the sketch and we would all make a layout. But somehow it evolved into so much more than that. And everyone really seemed to love it. So I've just continued to create these group style classes. So let's jump into the details of this class and what you can expect to find in it. The price of the class is $15. I always try to keep the cost of these classes low, and you'll see as I go through everything that you get a lot for that price. The class officially starts on Monday, July 11th, which is less than a week away, so you've got only a few days to get registered. And that registration period will close and the group will no longer be accepting new members. And in the past, I've done 2 different cycles of one group, but that will not happen with this one. It's a one-time chance to get in, and then on this Friday, and this is an important date to remember, this Friday, July 8th, 2022, it closes for good. I have included the link to register down below in the video description. The class takes place in a private Facebook group. If you don't have a Facebook account, some people have created an account just to use for the purpose of this class. Like, they aren't using it for any kind of personal social media, just kind of a throwaway account to attend classes or be a part of groups like this. The main concept of this group begins with 10 two-page sketches. These 10 sketches all have a common element. They are made using only 4x6 or 6x4" photos. And if you aren't a 2-page scrapbooker or you don't like using those photo sizes, there will be other options for you. And I'll get into that later. I always try to make these classes as open to every type of scrapbooker as possible, and you'll see that when I share the PDFs with you. So starting on Monday, July 11th, we will work through those 10 sketches 1 week at a time over the span of 10 weeks. So it's one sketch per week. Most of the group revolves around a simple schedule. On Mondays, I post the sketch, some PDF materials relating to that sketch, and my layout that I have created based on that particular sketch. And then the members of the group share their layouts based on that sketch in a layout gallery. So it sounds really simple, and it is, but there's a lot of PDF content that I want to go over, and I'm going to share a little peek at some of those so you can get a visual of what I'm talking about. First, let's go over the content that is shared on Monday. When I post the sketch and my layout every Monday, I share a few details about both of them in those posts. With the sketch, I might share how I came up with the design, or I might go into detail about that specific design concept and why it works. And then with my layout, I share any changes I made to the sketch or unique design ideas I had. Both of these are Facebook posts, but I wanted you to have the ability to easily save those just in case you wanted to reference back to them at a later date. So they are also available as a PDF. A lot of people in previous groups like to create a binder for all of the class PDFs. So if you like to do that, you can save those posts as well since they are available as a PDF. The sketch PDF has a small photo of the sketch and then the same text from the Facebook post. And the layout PDF is similar. It has a photo of my layout and again that same text from the Facebook post. With the layout PDF, there's also a second page that has 4 photos showing a closer look at the details of my layout, along with a caption sharing more design details and insights. Another PDF that is shared on Mondays is the bonus sketch examples. This is a 4-page PDF that has 24 sketch options showing the many different ways you can customize that one sketch to better fit your needs. And this is one of the most popular pieces of these groups. This is what I feel like is one of the best values of the group. Over the 10 weeks, you will end up with a total of 240 of the sketch options. And what's fun about these sketch options is that you can use each one for a completely different layout. And you can also mix and match the options for tons of possibilities. So you can really get a lot of mileage out of one sketch by using these sketch options. And like I mentioned earlier, I wanted to make sure that this group has something for every type of scrapbooker. So a lot of care and consideration for that went into this PDF. And I'm going to show you one of them to give you an idea of what these look like. The first section shows some different ways that you can adapt the papers on the sketch, usually by either simplifying the design by removing elements or enhancing the design by adding more detail. The second section is about changing the photos without changing the amount of photos on the sketch. The most common type of sketches you will see here are more sketches showing how to use this design exclusively with 4x6 or 6x4 inch photos. For example, if the sketch for the week has all 4x6 inch vertical photos, there will be an option that shows how to adapt the sketch to work with all 6x4 inch horizontal photos, and then an option showing how to adapt the sketch to work with a mix of 4x6 and 6x4 inch photos. I wanted to make sure that 4x6 inch photos is still the main focus of this group and that you are getting plenty of sketch options still following that focus. So for every sketch, you will have options that work with different 4x6 and 6x4 inch photos. The third section shows how to adjust the sketch to work with less photos by either removing photos, or most often this is done by using larger photos. A common photo size with these is 8x6 inch. That's usually taking 2 4x6 inch photos and merging them into one larger photo. And then sometimes there are ones with 8x10 inch photos depending on the design of the sketch. The fourth section shows how to adjust the sketch to work with more photos. And this is most often done by extending the photos, adding more photos, or using smaller photos. Most often, those smaller photos are going to be 3x4 or 4x3 inch, which is kind of a fun photo size. I really enjoy that photo size. With these, I again tried to make sure there were some options that used exclusively 4x6 or 6x4 inch photos. And I also included an option that uses all 3x5 or 5x3 inch photos. This is one of my favorite photo sizes, and it's a size that most often can easily be cropped down from a 4x6 or 6x4 inch print. And what I like about that photo size is that you can either include more photos or you can slightly shrink down the design of the sketch to fit. So I wanted to make sure I included an option for that photo size as well because they work so well with 4x6 inch prints. The fifth section is one of my absolute favorites. There are 5 one-page sketches. One sketch is always dedicated to the focus of the class and using only 4x6 inch photos. And then the other 4 sketches are made by different methods, like shrinking the design down or eliminating part of the design or photos, using a combination of elements from both pages, or creating designs based on one element of the sketch. And I ended up loving all of these one-page sketches, and I think you guys will too. Some of them really don't look anything like the original sketch, but you can still see where the design concept or certain elements were used. And there's always a little description telling you how and what the design was created from. And then the last section is a 17 by 11 inch layout for those that like to scrapbook with 8.5 by 11 inch papers. This sketch option shows how you can shrink that design and the photos down to fit that size. So I really feel like this PDF has something for every type of scrapbooker. So this group is really open to everyone. I think everyone could look through these and find a sketch option that appeals to them. I tried to think of one-page scrapbookers and two-page scrapbookers and those that like to use 4x6 inch photos exclusively and those that don't. And I really feel like there is something for everyone here. The last thing that takes place every Monday is I create a photo album in the group that will be our layout gallery for that specific sketch. And this is where everyone shares their layouts. And for me, this is the best part of the group. In previous groups, there were anywhere from 200 to 500 layouts shared in these galleries. And if you think that because they are all based on the same sketch that it might get repetitive or boring, it absolutely does not. What has always been so mind-blowing to me is how hundreds of people can use the exact same sketch and not a single layout looks like another. And if you look through these galleries, you will find so many cool ideas that you wouldn't have thought to do. And it's just so motivating and inspiring. It's so fun to see all of these unique layouts and ideas and styles. And you don't have to feel like just because we are starting with a sketch that you have to follow that sketch exactly. You can use as much or as little of that sketch as you want. You'll see layouts in the gallery that look nothing like the sketch, but the creator will share what they changed and why, and it makes total sense. These sketches are not a rule that you have to follow. You can do your own thing and focus on sticking to your own personal scrapbooking style and what makes you happy. I also want to mention that it's not a requirement that you participate in any way. If you don't want to share a layout, you don't have to. If you want to just join to get the PDFs and see all of the layouts everyone creates, you can do that. And there's no time restriction on when you have to share your layout. Like, it's not limited to just that week we are on. You can share your layout a month after or a year after if you want to. So far I've covered what happens on Mondays in this group. There is more content shared on Wednesdays as well. Every Wednesday there is a PDF that shares design tips based on the current sketch for that week. These focus on design fundamentals or common design concepts that I like to use often. For example, this one focuses on framing your photos to help them stand out, since that's the concept used in that sketch for the week. Most of these design PDFs include what I call naked sketches, which are a no-frill sketch that just contains the photos and layout design. So there are no embellishments or titles or journaling. They are designed to highlight that particular concept, and if you want to use them, you can add in those extra details on your own. There are over 50 naked sketches in these design tip PDFs. So now you are up to 300 sketch options over the 10 weeks of this group. And these design PDFs cover a range of topics like consistent margins, slanted designs, hexagon designs, creating balance, highlighting focal photos, and more. Also on Wednesday, we usually have a scrapbooking related discussion topic, and everyone can share their views on that post. Sometimes the topic will ask you to share a layout, so you get to see even more layouts there. Then on Fridays, there is a just for fun post that is usually a game or challenge or something funny that everyone can post a comment to. The last PDFs I want to mention are the surprise PDFs. I always like to throw a few surprises in there. First, you'll get a couple of PDFs right before the group starts. One is an organization PDF, and then the other is focused on photos. Then you'll get a surprise PDF on Friday during week 1, week 5, and week 10. And I'm really excited about these PDFs. I'm going to kind of tell you what they are without completely giving it away. I like to keep a few surprises in there. Basically, they are going to be a really good reference for creating layouts with 4x6 or 6x4 inch photos. You'll be able to take the amount of photos you have and look at this and easily find a design option for those photos. And these will include over 130 naked sketches. So now that brings the total to over 430 sketch options. And that's insane for the $15 price of the group. That ends up being around 3 cents per sketch option. And that's something I always try to do with these groups. I try to keep the cost as low as possible while also cramming it full of content that you can use forever. Plus, to me, with these groups, the more people there are, the more fun it is. Getting to see all of those layouts is, to me, what makes these groups so fun. And if you are in a scrapbooking rut, I wanted to mention this because I hear this all the time. This can be a really good motivation to help you get over that hump. A lot of people in previous groups have talked about how much it helped them get going again. Or if you want to get into a routine of scrapbooking on a regular basis, this can be good encouragement to establish that routine and habit of scrapbooking each week. So now I'm going to share a little peek at a few of my layouts. I really enjoyed these sketches, and I always appreciate how quick my layouts go together when just using 4x6 inch photos. The first one ended up being one of my favorites of them all, and it's funny because I struggled with this one. I wanted flowers that somewhat matched the flowers in the photos, but I was not having any luck with finding what I had in mind. And I finally just had to settle on some flowers that would work. And I had actually adhered them to the layout. But then a few days later, I was walking around Scrapbook Generation and found this paper that had these flowers, and they were exactly what I was looking for. So I actually went back and pulled off the other ones and replaced them with these, and I was so much more happy with the way this turned out. These flowers are almost exactly what I had in mind, so it was nice that luck came my way with this one. The second layout I'm going to show you, you've already seen a little bit of it from the PDFs that I shared. This one had these really big wooden leaves that ended up being great for creating this really cool title cluster. At first, the leaves were getting kind of lost in this arrow paper, so I used a pen and added an outline and some veins to a few of them. And I love the way this turned out. I really love wooden elements, and I especially loved it with the fall theme and these colors, so this was definitely a favorite as well. So now, if you want to register, you can follow the link I have down below in the video description, and that will take you to the Scrapbook Generation website where you can register for the class. When you register, you immediately have access to those 10 main sketches that this whole class is built around. And just to clarify, we don't email the sketches to you. The sketches are in your account at Scrapbook Generation, and you can download them from there. When you check out with that purchase, the last screen that pops up says thank you, and it has your order number, which you'll need to access the group. And then there'll also be a little bit of small blue text that says go to downloads or something similar. And that's where you can download those sketches. Once you have downloaded and opened those sketches, the first page has the instructions on how to join the private group, along with the link to join the group. And those sketches will always be in your SG account. So anytime you want to access them, you just need to sign in and find it in your orders. So I am pretty sure that covers everything. Don't forget that registration is only open through this Friday, July 8th, 2022. So you'll need to register as soon as you can so you don't miss that date. If you have any questions about the class or the group, you can comment below, or you can email Stacy at scrapbookgeneration.com, and she's our SG customer service go-to, and we will get your answers to those questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the group.